like the least prepared I've ever been.
Send help.
Well, hello.
It's like I forgot how to podcast.
So happy to have you back.
Yeah. So fun to be back. I was like, oh, I missed this. It was fun. I'm like, oh, sad.
I guess this is Delulu hour.
Welcome. Hello.
I'm Lucia.
This is Bree.
Welcome, everybody.
And this is Delulu hour.
We think.
Yeah, we're not sure. Someone sent help. Lucia's jet lagged and I forgot how to podcast.
Yeah. So
I'm like, why don't you start with your updates? Because
okay.
I feel like I don't have a lot of information.
Yeah, I can start. I actually do feel like I have like something to talk to you about.
Yes.
I don't want to make it a big deal because it's not a big deal.
Oh, okay.
But I was just in Hawaii for the listeners, and it was like so fun. It was really magical. Like
it looked incredible.
Yeah, had
like
such a good time. Like it was my roommates, and then we brought like a couple guy friends, a couple boyfriends. And yeah, I don't know, every day was just like so fun and everybody vibed really well. We did this one like boat tour thing along the Nepali coast, and it kind of seems like scary at first because you're like sitting on the edge of this boat and you like grab onto the ropes that are like connected to it.
Oh my God.
And then you like put your foot under a rope strap and you're just kind of like hanging on for dear life. And they're like going
this
fast.
So scary.
Right. It seems like it would be scary, but like we ended up having the best time, and we got to like go inside these like caves, and because like the boat was small enough.
Yeah.
And we got to this one point where the water was like super crystal clear, and they stopped the boat, and there ended up being like dolphins like right next to us, and there was a baby dolphin. It was so cute. It was so crazy, cool. Like within touching distance. And then we stopped at like the clear water, like jumped in. It was just like gorgeous. Like felt like I was like in a tropical island, which I was.
Yeah, you absolutely were.
So
cool.
That was super fun. Kind of something funny, I guess, that occurred that has to do with scheduling as well. To give some background also, you know how like I had talked to you about when I missed the engagement party with your parents.
Yes. Yeah.
And I felt really bad.
Yeah.
And I like truly was just like overwhelmed with my schedule, and I somehow ended up like double booking myself and putting it in my calendar for 2 different weekends. So that's kind of like the theme of what I've been going through with scheduling lately, of just like not managing it well.
Yeah.
And trying to get a hang on it. And so after I talked to you and apologized, and I was like, I'm going to be at the next one for sure. Like, don't worry about it. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to miss it. And then literally the next day, it was 4th of July, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I need to recheck like what day her engagement party is, because I think it's in the middle of my Hawaii trip.
Oh, shit.
And it was.
Oh my God, dude. I literally messaged Chris. I go, wait, is Lucia back in Hawaii? She goes, yeah. I was like, wait, she fully did not know it was the same weekend. She totally flew here and flew back.
Yes,
that's so funny.
I did.
Thanks for doing that. That was really kind.
I know. It was honestly, I was in turmoil for a little bit because I didn't know what to do, because it was like my fault. Like we had planned the engagement party before I planned this trip.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is my fault. And then I felt like that was me being a shitty friend twice.
Oh.
So I was like really, really like stressed out about it for a while and trying to figure out what to do, and like if I should like end the trip early or cancel, or like what to do. And I ended up deciding to just like do a quick like fly home to like make it for your engagement party.
That was so nice of you.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be like, oh, I'm a saint like doing this for you, because it was my fault. It was my fault. Like nobody to blame. But I think that just kind of goes to show that like I have just been like in a whirlwind schedule wise and like trying to get my shit together. But I don't know. I just kept going back to the thought of like, if you were missing mine, like I would have been like really bummed, you know.
Yeah,
and I like
for sure
I want to be there and like support you, and like these kind of things only happen once in a lifetime. So I'm not saying I'm like doing this big heroic thing by flying back for it, but I just like, it was one of those moments where I had to like I don't know, either deal with missing it or deal with making it, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So,
which is a shit show.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you figured it out and still were there. It was still really fun.
I'm really glad I made it,
Yeah,
like genuinely.
it was
And it
fun.
wasn't a big deal. Like I took a red eye Friday night and then I like made it Saturday and then flew back Sunday. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It was a little crazy. Everybody I told was like, "You're crazy." I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm loyal to my friends, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to get our schedules figured out, which is literally what we're talking about today.
Yes.
So that's on theme and on brand.
Yeah. I really need to get a hang of my schedule. And I feel like I've been doing better. Do you want to give updates first before we dive into
I
this?
mean, the only thing that I have to update on that is also sort of connected in a roundabout way, we got a puppy, which is wild because we're just doing all the things like we got a house and we got engaged, now we have a puppy, and it's like within less than a year. Like, are we okay?
Yeah.
And we're obsessed with him, and it was very like random. Like we literally just saw him on the side of the street, like going to the La Jolla market, and he was like ready to be adopted, and we just adopted him, and like literally didn't even know what he actually was, and it was just
cute.
like so.
That is so spontaneous of both of you.
Yeah, for crazy that he did that, because like I had been wanting a dog for months and months and months, and like really badgering him about it, and he's like, I just want to have a yard for the dog and all this stuff. I'm like, we're not gonna have a yard. Like if we're gonna live here, we need to have like a lot of millions of dollars. So whenever you let me know you're a millionaire, let me know, and then we can get a dog, I guess.
Right.
I was like at the point where I was about to just get a dog and be like, this is my dog, and like you can just live with us. Like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I was at. I was like, I will live for this dog and then you'll be our roommate.
Perfect.
But yeah, then we saw this dog, and he really did want like an Aussie, and he was so cute, and he had like the perfect like, I don't know, temperament. And so we just like kind of fell in love and just spontaneously adopted him on the side of the road.
I love that.
But that completely spiraled my schedule from being like, I'm barely hanging on to like, I just was like, okay, I'm doing nothing. Like there's nothing I can do. Because, you know, he's trying to go to the bathroom on everything and try to chew everything up. But it's sort of settled now. Like he sleeps through the night, and we've got him crate trained. So like anytime I leave, I just put him in the crate. Now he likes it.
Right.
He used to cry, and now he's like a little bit better about it. Potty training's a little bit better too. Yeah. But you still have to watch him like a lot. And so I've had to get even better. And I feel like I was good about scheduling. Like I won't say I never double book, because I definitely have done that. But for the most part, I never do, because I'm like crazy about, like I have multiple calendars that I have to juggle. So I have like a specific way of processing of like, what am I going to do? How am I going to write it out so that I know I never miss anything, and I know that I don't double book anything, because I've done it before, and I, like you experience, it's the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that totally like threw my fucking life into a turmoil, and I just feel like I just got out of the washing machine, and now I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, and it's like loss of control, because it's
terrifying.
You're on his schedule now.
Yeah, it was so scary for a little bit. I was like, like my life is just this now, which is great. Like that's what I literally signed up for it, but yeah. I was like, maybe this wasn't a good time to do this. I don't know.
I know. I have been like really, really wanting a dog as well. I even put it on my like vision board for this year, but I'm like, with how things are going, I could definitely not manage that.
Literally.
Speaking of, I should probably close this.
Oh yeah, we can hear the ones next door going nuts. That's wild. They're so loud.
I know, they're really annoying.
Hope they're okay.
I know. It's been like that since I moved in. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, anyways, to get into what we do. Well, do you want to start with what you do or what you're learning to do?
Yeah. I'll just say also with like life lately, since I have been balancing so much, like I've been really trying to figure out how to work in like getting my tasks done, like having a social life, having a dating life, also dating myself. And it's just been too much. And so recently I've kind of decided to take dating other people off of my plate right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm not.
We're doing a dating diet.
Yeah. I'm not talking to anybody, and I'm not like pursuing it. Of course, I'm always open, but I don't know.
Up in the DMs.
It was just getting to be a lot, and I could tell that like with my schedule and the way it's been lately that it's just been like affecting different areas of my life, like the engagement party, and then like with the guy that I was talking to recently, like and the way things ended, like I feel like I do have responsibility in it, and I feel like I was just like a little bit snippy with him, and I feel like I've just been like aggro a lot lately because of like how run dry I am.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was like, I need to take something off my plate, and I feel like that needs to be the first to go right now. Like,
for sure.
This year has definitely been big on like focusing on me, so I want to continue to like pour into like my career and my hobbies and my friends and myself, and I feel like dating should be the number one thing to go right now. So yeah, I'm just
a little
taking
dating
a break.
diet. We love it.
Yeah. But in terms of scheduling, I really want to get. So I guess what I do now is I do like live by my calendar on my phone. I feel like that's just like the easiest way to keep track of things. I do also typically like write everything down in a separate calendar. Just because I like the pen to paper thing, and then I don't know, writing it down twice kind of helps me to like really remember it and visualize it. But something I do want to get more into and better at is time blocking, which I know that you are good at, and so I really want to hear what you have to say. But something that I've literally just been in like the research phases of like what are the best methods of like time blocking, and like how can I schedule out my week so that I actually schedule in free time for myself instead of just being like full productive 12-hour day, because I feel like that's just impossible every single day.
Absolutely impossible. Yeah. Well, so I guess I'll just like, because I have the 3 different jobs, I mean mostly it's 2, right? 2 kind of run my life, the third I guess I run my life, but like they kind of run my life, and then the third is like here and there, but they all are obviously time-based. Like every job and everything you can make time-based. And so the way that I found this app, it's called Structured. Live and die, like absolutely live and die. So I guess my process is like, let's say, so I was talking to my mom yesterday and she was like, okay, we might go for Thanksgiving to my Nana's house, and then we might go to Nashville before, and here's the dates I'm thinking. So I immediately put that in my Outlook calendar, which is just the one that I like the widget of. I like it better than the Gmail, which I think is really rare. Everyone likes the Gmail one, but whatever. I think that I like the Outlook one better. And I have all of my calendars connected. So like if I have a Gmail calendar and if something's like put on there because of an email, it goes to my Outlook because it's all connected.
Cool.
And then so that's the one I check every day in addition to the Structured app. And I also do the same thing as pen to paper. Like I have a huge calendar above my desk that at the beginning of each month I write out everything for the month, and that way I know if I double booked something or if someone asks, like I know it's there because I can visually see it. That does like that really helps because it comes from my phone to the paper and then back to my phone on the Structured app. So I'll like do it week by week on the Structured app, and as things come in on my phone calendar, and the beginning of each month I do the written calendar. And it just helps a lot. Like if I have to, I'm going to offices, right, and that's going to take a certain period of time, but sometimes I need to go show a house and that's going to take a certain amount of time. So I look, okay, it's going to take me 30 minutes to get to Rancho Bernardo,
right,
and I need to see this many people today. So then I put in this 3-hour block, and then I know I have this hour to get to eat and get to that place, and then I have another hour until I can get to my social thing that I've planned. So it's like I always am reaching out as well. So like I guess to just go on, because I think the most important part, obviously that's a process and it works for me, but I think you have to find what works for you. But it is extremely important that like what's important to you is in your schedule. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They like just like reacting to everything all day, every day, and every week and every month, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen my friends in a while, text real quick. Like I've gotten to a place where I'm like very proactive, like, okay, I know that exercise and seeing my friends is like, and my family are like the 3 most important things in a week. So, and of course, like because I work with Stefan a lot, like we've got some quality time there, we live together, so that sort of like just works out where like the free nights, then we do date nights and stuff like that. But the other 3, like I really have to schedule. So I schedule my workouts through ClassPass, and then the days that I don't do that, I put in that I'm going to go to the gym, and I literally put it in my Structured app, and it's like 7 to 8 a.m. And then I know that I have to walk Enzo before that. So it's like 6 to 7. Like, I have to add it into each little thing. And then when I make plans with friends, like that goes into the calendar in the phone, and then onto the calendar above my desk. And then the week of, I fill out Structured. So I only do it week by week because it's way too much to be putting it into 4 different things. So I like in the moment put it in my Outlook calendar. a month in advance, I put everything in a written calendar, and then Sunday, or even sometimes Monday if I'm late with it, I put it all in my structured app and be like, okay, this is how I'm gonna get to everything.
Yeah.
And I do put in like Delu hour or
Right.
drinks with Krissa, and like it'll be like a 3-hour block, and I'll know, okay, I can't have something like literally right next to it, right? And it just helps. Like I haven't really double booked ever since, because it's like a 3-step process, and I'm still like, okay, I'm gonna see my family this day, and I know I have this with Krissa this day, or Carly, or you.
Yeah.
You know, it just helps like a ton. And I've noticed that doing that has really like helped me like just like get to live and be present. Whereas I'm not like, oh my God, I have another thing. Do I have another thing? Am I worried about this? Am I worried about that?
Right. Which is how I've been.
Yeah. It's stressful.
Yeah.
And you have to think about like little tasks too. Like if you want to clean, like put that in there.
Yeah.
Like add in the time, because if you like a clean space, like that makes you feel good. So just think about the things that, especially for the listeners that I think that are like struggling with it as well, is like, what is important to you? Is it important that your space is clean? Then have that in your calendar. Like just block it for certain periods of time. If you don't like it, then you can change it the next day.
Right.
That's what I like about the app instead of writing it down.
Yeah. I did see this thing that is like pretty spot on with like what you're saying, where essentially when you're planning out your week, you just like brain dump, like literally like write down everything that you know that you want to get done in the week, or anything that's on your mind that's been stressing you out, like, oh, I have to take this to the dry cleaners, or oh, I have to drop this package off, or whatever. Like write all of it down, so that way you can see it all in front of you, and then from there like scheduling out your week. And then maybe those things that are like reoccurring, you do at the same time every day or the same time every week, just to help you like sort it out.
Yeah exactly. It's super helpful to have it in your calendar, like recurring that kind of stuff. And then like the structured app, you can pay for like the pro version. I don't think it's that expensive, like maybe $4 a month or something, and you can have recurring stuff with that, and that way you just fill it in.
Are you scheduling out like weekends for yourself? Because I feel like this is what I struggle with, is with like balancing like 3 different things and hobbies and social life. Like I feel like I don't have like true weekend days where I'd like don't have anything. Like, are you scheduling that out for yourself?
Yeah, so like I'll look at my calendar, and if there's not a free day, like that's gonna be a problem. Like I'm not the kind of person that can do that, especially when I'm doing stuff with the podcast, like creativity. I feel like you need space, so I'll log out all the things I know I need to go to that have a set time. And then as things come up, I add them as a set time. But during that free time, I know that's my time to do the things that I want to do, which might be like taking care of myself, going to the gym, like cleaning up my space, like being creative, like that kind of stuff. I add in day of, because I've found that I can't be rigid. Like I know routines are so important. And I think obviously like brush teeth, wash face, whatever, that I do. I just have realized I'm not a person that can have the same thing every single day. I can't do the routines. I get so frustrated and like unhappy for whatever reason. So I've noticed that if I leave that space open until the morning, then I can decide like, okay, these are the things I want to get done today. Here's some free space, and here's some time I can have to like read or just literally watch Love Island. I just leave it, and I know that that's going to be that time for me. I don't have anything to do. I don't have a to-do list. Like that's it. And I'm like, I have like very strict boundaries with, unless I have to go to like a showing after 5 o'clock, like I'm not working after 5 o'clock unless it's something I want to be doing, which would be like podcast stuff. But I think it's just important to like know that the things that you want to get done. So like you're talking about your weekend. So if I have like a social event, I'm putting that on the calendar and I'm putting that on my structured, and then I know maybe I shouldn't have it during the week and I also have like where my schedule is at and my cycle, and I know if I'm going to be like really interested in talking to people or if I'm not, and then I'll literally like up or decrease or move dinner plans or whatever
around that.
So I like that you're doing like the dating diet and like all that stuff, and I think that's going to help a lot, because once you get into like a routine that works for you in a process, then you'll be able to find pockets better instead of feeling you're just like waking up reacting to your life.
Yeah, exactly. And then I found that I was putting in, because I've been like trying to date myself and do that weekly, and then with like so limited time, I've been like squeezing in dates with guys over dates with myself, and like I don't like that. And I don't know, I also just weirdly enough am in a space where I'm I don't know, just not feeling interested in anybody.
Yeah. No, I love that though. That's such
Yeah,
a freeing
it is.
feeling.
Yeah.
That's like growth healed
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah,
Like that's good.
truly, truly. And it's been like a little bit of an emotional roller coaster as well with like my ex being back in town. So I think I'm like realizing that I'm like reprocessing the breakup a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like give myself the space to do that as well because it was definitely very out of sight, out of mind for a while.
Yeah.
And now it's not, but that's okay. Um,
That's fair.
yeah.
I feel like that's, I guess what we were talking about is like, I don't put it in my calendar like that because I think it's important to feel like you have flexibility and freedom.
Yeah.
And some people like to time block literally everything. But I
Right.
kind of like to look at it and be like, okay, I have this, and that to get done. And then if it's like a event with a friend or whatever, then I'm putting it in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like to see just an empty thing. Because
Yeah.
for me, it got to a point where I was like, now I have to go sit at the beach by myself. Now I have to go read.
Yeah,
like, no,
we
I
need
don't
some like spontaneity
have to
in there.
read. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more like if this is my free time in the day and I can see it because it's open. And what's nice about the structured app is it tells you like 1 hour, 7 minutes till your next task. So you
Mhm.
literally know, oh, I have time to slot this in, this in, this in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just my
Are you
process.
like sitting down every like Sunday night and scheduling out the week or?
Yeah, I mean, I love to do it on a Sunday. I love a Sunday reset,
Mhm.
but realistically, it's probably more like a Monday, and then I
Okay.
get to the stuff later. Like, I know myself that I like to enjoy my weekends because I feel like I work sometimes on weekends.
Mhm.
So I would love to have, like, not be having to use Sunday as a prepare for work
Yeah.
because I probably already worked that day, and then that's not a day off, really.
Right.
So realistically, I try not to schedule things on Mondays just because it's a good, like, planning day for me.
Yeah.
Which probably doesn't work for a lot of people if they're going into the office like 9 a.m. like to 5 p.m. every Monday. So I
Yeah.
would say in that case, I would do it on Sundays or even on a Friday. Like if you know how Friday you're just like, I don't want to do shit. You know, it'd be nice is if
Yeah.
you came back to work and it was already done for you and you didn't have to do it on a Sunday or a Monday.
Right.
Do it on Friday at 2 p.m. when you're sick of doing your work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
how I would do it, honestly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Little lunch break.
A little lunch break. A little I'm not doing work, but I'm doing work on a Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important, like we were talking about how we wanted to talk about like slowing down and stuff.
Yeah. That
and
too.
not being go, go, go. Like that's kind of why I didn't want this episode to be about like, you need to like, every little thing needs to be on your calendar and
Right.
like get it done. It's like, I think it's important. Maybe like you said too, it might work where you have it written down. Like I do have a goals thing that I have Post-it notes that I put on,
Mhm.
and I have like a financial goal or like if something I want to focus on, I like put it there, and that's that way I like notice it, and then I realize whether it's being put into my schedule or not that week, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like even having maybe a notebook of like, these are the things I'm working on or I want to do, and then you can kind of like see if you're doing them or not.
Right.
Or you can slot them into your free time if you're like, oh, what should I do? It's also important to just like sit around sometimes.
Yeah.
Like just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, sit at the beach, or you can like watch a show with your roommates. Like, don't you want to have that time of like, oh, they're doing something, I have free time to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think it's about being rigid for work and being free outside of it.
Right.
And if you aren't rigid about where your work is, like, then you can't be free outside of work because you don't know when the next thing's coming.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of getting to the point where I was just having a hard time like setting boundaries like that and giving myself the space to do that. And I was like saying yes to everything and filling up all of my free time with things that I needed to do.
Yeah.
And then I like legitimately like had a breakdown one night, and I think I texted you the next day because we were supposed to record, and I like came home and just started like crying in front of my roommates, and they were like, you need to take a day off.
Slow down, sis.
And they were like, literally my boss from the wellness center had asked me if I would like come in again that day as well, and I was like, I don't know why I was like feeling guilty about like saying no, and they were like, it's his problem, like you can say no, it's not the day you were supposed to be like scheduled to work. So I ended up like saying no to everything, like canceling even like recording with you. And I'm like so glad I had that reset day and just like a second to breathe and like do whatever I wanted. And
see, and that's super important. So then if you're like looking at your week and you're like, I have all these things, then you need to put things that would end up on that day that's free onto the days that have things, and just like make those sprint days and then have reset days. Because I do think I noticed when I had to work every single day, I was like, I'm gonna lose my absolute mind. Like, this is not normal at all.
And I think it's just been such an adjustment for me, because I came from like doing a 9 to 5, like Monday through Friday, like very set schedule, and now everything I'm doing is not a set schedule. And so that's why I think it's been like, whoa, like every single week is so different, which can be so fun. And I love that, that like every week looks different, but then it's just me getting like a grip on it. And I think having that time where I like sit down and like really visualize my week and like what I want it to look like, and also planning in that free time and alone time and date myself time.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's hard to leave something that's structured and then not have structure for yourself. Like, you still have to set that. It can be like loose, way looser than corporate, which is why everyone leaves it. But you definitely still want to have it like for yourself somehow. And I feel like my process has made me feel that way, where I'm like, okay, I'm not at work, like I can turn off better. How
are you and Stefan doing with like managing somebody being home for the dog? Or
that's been a whole thing. Especially because he's studying to take a test that is like a very difficult test. So it's been a lot of like me kind of stepping up a little bit, us getting him really comfortable with being alone. Like, it's so important to let dogs be alone. It was really hard at first because they like cry and you just want to hold them. But we kind of built him up. Like, we'd keep him in the crate while we were there. And then we would keep him in the crate when we leave for an hour for a dinner together. Or like, we just sort of did it in a way that started to teach him that it's okay and we're going to come back. And then we like slowly increased that amount. And so that's been super helpful. And we're just like way better at communicating our schedule now. Like, if he, like this morning, he wanted to go to the gym and I wanted to go to yoga, and that was like an hour difference. So he got up earlier, took the dog on a walk, fed him, made sure he went to the bathroom. And then I was like getting ready for yoga while I was like watching him. And then when he finally settled down, I put him in the crate and then I left. And it was fine, because then he came home from the gym, I come home from, so it just kind of worked out. But we had to be a lot more communicative about what we wanted out of our morning.
This seems like a good like test for you guys.
Oh my god, we had like sleepless nights. He was like, okay, this is like having kids, but like way not as bad. I'm like, right,
but it's like in the same realm.
It was cute. I think it was like very helpful. And I for a little bit it was interesting because we had different ideas of, we're both like perfectionists, which is sort of like the main theme of the relationship of difficulty, right? Like, I want it done this way, he wants it done this way. He's an engineer, I'm a smartass. And I think we just are like, we've had to learn to let each other be right sometimes, or that like, just because it's not done the way we want it to be done doesn't mean it's not right and we won't have the same outcome. And I actually had this conversation with my PT or my therapist girl, and she was like, for your own like nervous system's sake, like, you have to be able to trust that if it's not done the way you're doing it and it's the way he's doing it, that the outcome could be similar,
right?
Instead of being like stressed out about it and letting it like literally like ruin your day, your life, your mental mindset, that just because it's not done exactly how you thought,
right,
doesn't mean that it's gonna have a negative outcome. And I was fully living in like pure stress for like 3 days because I thought we had to follow him around like a fucking helicopter mom. And he was thinking like, don't even look at him. And I'm like, whoa, we need a middle ground, you know? So we found that, but it took like for sure like a week or two. And now I think we're on like a good
you guys seem like
schedule.
You're doing great.
Yeah, it's so fun. We like are obsessed with him too. It's just really cute. He's so cute. It's ridiculous. I know. I'm obsessed with him, but just takes time, I think. Settling in. One
thing I will say, because I feel like this is kind of like happening in my life right now with, I don't know, just like the phases of life and like the ebbs and flow of like the year. If you think about like mapping out your whole year almost, and I'm like really feeling like the end of an era, the end of a chapter with one of my roommates leaving. And I'm feeling that like pre-sadness of it hitting, and kind of like the differences of how like my life's gonna look. And obviously like this happens all the time, like friendships like ebb and flow, and things change and people move and people come back. And I think I'm really trying to find that, I don't know, almost like just grounding myself in what I have and what I do, and knowing that like I can only control what I can control in my life and in my schedule.
Yeah.
And people will come and go, life will phase, life will turn. Sometimes you'll have a different job, sometimes you'll get a dog, like
Yeah.
all these new chapters and new beginnings. And I think that's almost why having that like structure baseline is so helpful. But then again, as we've been saying, like also allowing yourself to like slow down and enjoy every moment. So as like this chapter of mine comes to an end of like having a roommate move out and having a new one come in, like I don't know what the new dynamics will be like. I don't know what it's going to look like. Everything's been going so well so far.
Yeah.
So I think just giving myself that structure again so that I can like go into the rest of the year smoothly and,
For sure,
I don't know, find peace with it.
Yeah.
And allow new to come in as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that like starts with gratitude as well. I think it's super important that you start each day like thinking about why you're glad to like
Yeah.
have woken up that day. Literally, like, what are you grateful for? Sometimes I literally am saying coffee, my dog,
Yeah.
and like it being sunny outside. That's been like mostly every day.
Yeah.
But then that's how you start. And
Do you have the 5-minute journal?
I do.
I love mine.
Isn't that so good?
It's my favorite.
I'm obsessed. I don't always do the end of the day one, so it's mostly just my early morning. Like,
well, I know they have like different variations, but one of the prompts for my end of the day one is like, "What did you learn today?" I'm like, I don't know. I didn't learn shit. I'm kidding.
like I didn't fucking learn anything. I just had a good time.
I just feel like I struggle with answering that every day.
I just leave shit blank. I'm like, whatever. I had to like let go. See, that's the other problem is like with journaling. I feel like there's like a perfectionism that I can't handle it with. And that makes it hard for me to like journal and do all these things because it's like asking me questions and I'm like,
right,
I am sorry, like I don't have an answer for that. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So I've had to like let go of like the pages needing to be filled out.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
Yeah, but I would say the structure of it too, like I think what we were talking about when you're saying like to let new things come in, I think that's why it's so important to be like, okay, I'm seeing my friend on Thursday, I'm having a me date on Tuesday, I'm going out with friends on Saturday, all the other nights are free and I might just hang out by myself or like whatever happens. And that way like all the things, all your needs are being met, like I'm gonna work out, whatever, and then anything new that comes in, you just like take it as it comes and you're like a lot more open to it.
Right.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. I'm also like I've decided that I'm gonna do 75 hard again.
So exciting.
Like first week of September.
Nice.
I'm trying to decide if I want to like start it. I wanted to start it like September 1st, but I go to New York that week, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll start it when I get back. Yeah,
make it easier on yourself.
But yeah, just kind of like prepping myself to get back into that zone because you have to be like very structured with your schedule doing that. And I felt so proud of myself doing it last year that I was able to handle it. And I feel like everybody is like, I don't have time to do 2 workouts a day. But I honestly found it really easy. I always did a walk for my second workout and I would always do it during my lunch break. So it wasn't like taking away from my work or anything like that. And like truly like I only needed like about 15 minutes to just like eat, and then the rest of the time I spent walking. That's and that awesome. Always worked for me. So if anybody wants any advice on like how to schedule, if you're thinking about 75 hard or even just like working out throughout the week, like scheduling that, I feel like is something you have to be consistent with timing wise. Like I would primarily always do my workouts in the morning if I knew that I had an event going on in the evening, so that I didn't have to worry about like getting home from work, needing to work out and then rush to whatever social event I had. So I would make sure that I worked out in the morning instead. And then the days that I didn't have anything going on, like letting myself sleep in and then work out in the afternoon.
For sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe just having that too will help you put structure back in.
I think so. I think I need it.
Yeah. It's like when it's constantly different every day, it's great, but it's also like you have to have some like bookends on your day, like that make it feel like you've got something that you need to do every day kind of thing.
And that's what felt so good about it, and what you're supposed to get out of it is knowing that you can show up for yourself every single day and depend on yourself to get things done. Because you obviously have to do the other things like reading and drinking the water and following the diet. So knowing that you can follow that for that many days, like, really shows you, like, I can do anything. And I've definitely, like, fallen off the wayside of that. And I'm also just excited to take a break from drinking again.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
And you can use that structured app.
Yes.
For the 75 hard thing.
Yes.
I mean, like, if you can literally put in your day, like, every day at noon you're walking, and every morning at whatever time you're working out at the gym. Like,
no, definitely.
So nice to be able to move it around and stuff. Like,
I was starting to use that app when you showed me it, but I was doing it, like, the night before every day, which I don't know why I thought that would be, like, doable. And that's why I, like, got burnt out on it and, like, stopped using it. But I feel like it'll be nice to, like, actually, like, just plan out the week and, like, do it in one sitting. Yeah,
I just would look at, like, what I already had scheduled, because I have two phones, like, work phone, like, regular phone.
Yeah.
And so I would just, like, go through all my calendars and everything I've thrown in a calendar when someone told me it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it all out in the week after doing it on the calendar too, so it's, like, up, and I know I didn't double book or anything, but like, anytime between Friday and Monday I do that for the week. And then I'm just like, I don't have to do it unless something comes up and I throw it in my calendar. I'm like, oh, I can make that, I have this many hours.
Right.
And I think that'd be, like, extremely important when you're doing 75 hard, because you've got, like, really rigid things you're trying to hit every single day.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like you could use ChatGPT to help you, like, plan out your week.
So true.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you, like, meal plan? Or no? Or wait, meal prep. Wait,
yes, I do.
That's awesome,
I have to.
Yeah.
Although, like, I just don't have enough time to, like, figure out meals on the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
So, or however that saying goes.
Figure out meals on the seat of my pants. No, literally. I think that's really important too, is finding time to, like, meal prep for the week.
Yeah.
Like, it makes the rest of your week just go a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, that I'll typically do when I know, like, today, like, even though I, like, literally just got home from Hawaii today, but I am working, like, the next 3 days, so I'm gonna, like, go to the grocery store after this and, like, get all my lunches and dinners, like, planned and prepped for the next 3 to 4 days. And I feel like it's nice to just do, like, 3 to 4 days at a time. I never, like, plan, like, a whole, like, 5-day week, but I mean, I guess that's just, like, depending on your schedule, with mine not being, like, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I feel like the overarching theme is, like, of what we're saying is, like, don't try to do, like, it the night before every single night. Like, don't expect that you can do that realistically every single day. Like, when you have time, meal prep. When you have time, sit there and do your week. Then it's done. Like, you're literally, like, future selfing. Like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the way to do it.
Setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. Success.
Sweet.
Is that the episode?
I guess so.
Okay. We love you guys. Thanks for listening. Hopefully that was helpful and interesting. If not, so sorry.
I'll see you next time.
See you later. Bye.